All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of the M Sister Studios podcast. My name is Danielle Minetti, along with my lovely co-host and sister for life, Kim.
You're just trying to find new innovative intros for me, aren't you?
You keep on making me do the introductions. What else? What else am I supposed to do?
I don't know. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am. So it's funny that we're having this conversation today because I literally just came back from the comic book store.
Oh, goody. You found some goodies?
No. Well, I've got some new series that started this year because they had the first issue, and I got so excited because I thought I found the second issue for the comics I just bought also a few days ago, but it turns out I didn't, and I got really sad.
Ew.
So I guess that's when you know you're invested when you get sad you didn't find the right one, but I still got stuff to read. So, but yeah.
That's good.
I don't know. I was talking to Kevin about it in the car. I don't remember being a comic book store by us growing up. Like, it wasn't like, when you think about it, I don't really know if there's any.
The one in Red Bank, Danielle.
Well, besides that, that's still like 15, 20 minutes away. I feel like it's not as, that doesn't really, I mean, that doesn't really count because they show like graphic novels, but I'm like comics. You know,
Red Bank, Danielle. You just never were into comic books.
I know. Okay, so yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, the one in Red Bank, but like,
it
Can
is.
I finish my story?
No, because you're wrong though. You just were never into comics. Just admit it now.
No, I was never into comics. Yes, but I'm saying, okay, so the one in Red Bank's 15 minutes away. What I'm trying to say is, I think the culture.
You worked in Red Bank at the YMCA.
You let me finish my story. Gosh darn it!
Yeah,
I'm saying this is what I'm trying to say. I think the culture is not as big. The comic book culture is not as big in Jersey as it is out here, because there's a comic book store, at least for the three towns, from Silverdale up to here, Port Orchards, there's a comic book store in every town.
I don't think that's true at all, actually, because they have one
in Red Bank.
At least one.
That's in Red Bank, but the next town over, like, I don't know if there's one in Middletown. I don't know if one is Homedale.
There might be
consecutively.
No. Your argument's invalid. You just weren't into them.
All right. Can we get on with our show already now?
Yes. So this week we're doing our Marvel movie rating reviews, similar to our DC ones. The same concept. If you haven't watched our DC one, go watch it because we're very passionate about it. Just kidding. I would like to make a disclaimer that I am not like a super fan, so if I offend anybody, that's your problem. But basically, so what we decided to do was make a random spin wheel generator of all the superhero movies in the MCU and the DCEU and spin the wheel and then watch 5 of them. We're gonna for this episode, and then we can obviously continue with Marvel because there's a lot of movies.
Yeah, for DC, we're pretty much almost done. Like,
yeah, we just need to make another one for DC.
Yeah.
For Marvel, we have to make like 20. But that's okay. So basically what we're doing is what are we doing?
We're reviewing the movies.
I know, but I'm trying to read my
actual, oh my goodness.
Like,
so thing. Way that do you explain it? It's your baby, so go.
It's my baby. Let me explain this. So the way that we are going to rate and discuss the movies that we picked out for this first episode of the MCU superhero movie ranking series. I provided like a list of categories that I created that I thought were good to have a discussion for. So it's characters, plot, action, and then a category for bonus points. And basically what we're going to do is give points for each of those categories. We're going to discuss them based on each movie. and then kind of do some mathematics and find the mean of all of our summed up points, and then rank the movies in order from not worst to best, but like lowest ranking to highest ranking. And I thought it would be a good idea to kind of pick randomly, because with superhero movies, there are similarities in them. Like, you're gonna have some action in this, that, but like they're also very different. So in a lot of ways, it's very like opinionated about what you like. And I think this is a lot more kind of like logical way of, not logical, but like structural way of going about it. Because I said in the last movie review, it's like, just because your opinion, like one movie can be your favorite doesn't mean like on paper it's like the best. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
By your rankings, because even though it's your overall favorite, there could be areas where maybe it's lacking in your opinion. So that's why I thought we could base it kind of this way. And also coming from like me and kind of you, even though you're more divulged into like all this stuff, that's like more general conversation.
Yeah.
Not like I don't have that much of a biased opinion on most of them, but some of them I do. So for this episode, because we're probably going to make this into a series, which is really cool. The first 5 movies that were picked, and there are a lot of them, so that spin wheel is getting extra small. like the little slivers of like the names were just like, it was like a pinky size. And I was just abbreviating because I was typing them in. So we have, what do we have? Let's go. We have Captain America, the First Avenger, Iron Man 2, Captain America Civil War, Thor Ragnarok, and Spider-Man Far From Home.
Woo.
So those are our movies. We're going to talk about them. We're going to rate them. We're going to discuss them. I wrote notes. There's a movie that I have a lot of notes on. So yeah. How was your overall? Did you enjoy the selection?
Let's see.
I know it's like random, obviously, but
no, I enjoyed the selection. I mean, first off, I never saw Spider-Man Far From Home. I saw Homecoming, so that was nice to finally be able to watch it. And plus, I love Tom Holland. As Spider-Man. So
okay.
But I enjoyed the selection overall. What's it called? I mean, I'll discuss some things about the certain movies that I don't like, obviously. But overall it was pretty good. It's just I don't know what it is about Marvel, is that overall I feel like some of the stuff is not like, when you're watching a movie, like, I don't want to say like not new, but like
repeated.
Yeah. Some of the themes are repeated.
Yeah.
I guess you could say, especially because some of the characters and like that they've shown, because they've shown a lot, have similarities between each other. Whereas DC, they haven't shown all the DC superheroes and stuff. So like they're different, like Justice League only has 5 people, whereas like Avengers has like,
well, I don't think that's a good argument though, because it's like the first Avengers was 6. Like the Justice League is only getting bigger. They're just not there yet.
Yeah, I know, but like I think, I don't know, some of the stuff was just like not new.
No, I agree. No, I'm with you. I see that. I definitely kind of thought that too. So let's get into, should we start with the first Avenger?
Sure.
Go chronologically.
Sure, we'll do it.
Okay. So going into characters, we're just going to go from each category. So starting off with characters. You know what I was kind of not upset that this movie was chosen and Civil War, because I've seen both of them and I've never seen Winter Soldier, and I'm waiting for a good opportunity to see it. So I was like, okay, let me watch this again. And then it was a whole thing too that I told you, because like for Iron Man 2 and for First Avenger, I watched them and then I fell asleep through them, so then I had to watch them again.
Yeah.
So going into it, my opinions aren't that great. It's kind of like, this is tedious. But you know what? It's interesting to see like the start of a character, especially now that his time has ended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I enjoyed going back to the beginning. Because also too, and this is like a note that I have for these movies specifically, is like, it's interesting to go back and watch them X amount of years after the fact, because I feel like the emotional connection to some of the characters and the storylines aren't heightened anymore because it's not like in the moment.
Right.
You know, like and I'm getting a little off topic, but I went to go see Far From Home in the theaters. So like, you know, it's after oh, by the way, spoiler alerts, whatever. It's after like Tony dies and how, you know, recent that movie came out to Endgame and stuff like that. So you have emotional connection. Obviously that's played throughout the movie. But anyways, it's really interesting to like go back and see like the beginnings, you know, especially when certain characters' arcs are ended.
Yeah.
And
But
years past.
But also,
so I'm gonna start with that.
But also too, it's cool because like as more and more movies came out, you kind of forget like initially like who they are. There might be like little bits and pieces, like for example, we were not on Civil War, but like on Civil War when Steve went to Agent Carter's funeral, like there's like stuff like that bits and pieces that remind you of like who the character was starting off. But like the more movies that you get in, that kind of like you kind of forget why they're like the way that they are.
Right, because even like all this stuff now, especially for Captain America, like Falcon and Winter Soldier, I mean, Steve obviously is a big character in it, but he's not in the show.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like cool to see. It's cool to see the beginnings, but then you're like, I literally was watching the movie and I was like, this guy is just, he has no idea what he is doing. So let's talk about, I guess, the character of Steve. You know what? I thought it was very funny. I was like, obviously he's supposed to be this very little guy, right?
Yeah.
He's like a little guy with the Chris Evans head.
Yeah.
And he, you know, enlisted to go in the army like 5 times, got rejected all 5 times because of his weight and stuff and his size. But it's like, wouldn't you I found it kind of hard to pass like the fact like he still had his voice. Cuz I was like, would it, I mean,
it doesn't fit the body type.
No, like I would imagine his voice to be a little higher.
Yeah.
And plus he was younger too, right? He was like 18, right? Or young.
Like I think he was 20 or 21.
Yeah, so like, well, no, maybe not, but like it was very strange to me. I couldn't like get past.
But also too, his head, like not even the size of the head, but like the shape of the head does not fit the body type like at all. You know, so good try, Marvel.
So that for me, that was kind of hard to get past, but I like the concept. I wrote this quote down. It was from that doctor that came in who kind of recruited him to do the experiment. And he said maybe what we need now is the little guy, and I thought that was kind of a good summed up sentence for what kind of Steve Rogers represented.
Right.
For the first movie is like the underdog person who's willing to fight.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing about Steve in this movie is like he wants to fight. He wants to go off and do his part and he
save people.
And it's holding him, and like who he is holding him back. So yeah. Anything?
You know. Yeah. So let's see. It's also, I mean, I don't want to say the Steve in general though, like him being the little guy and him being the underdog is not, I don't want to say cliche, but the way that he made his actions are kind of like already done. Like, okay, this guy, he's little. They made him like think outside the box, right? and also made him, like when he sacrificed himself for that potential bomb to show his character and stuff, is like, yeah, like that shows that he's the underdog, but like that also too is like something that's common, common theme.
But I think in that way it's something that's common, but that's what people relate to.
Yeah.
Ways. But I think that I forgot what I was gonna say. I just like that because I really liked his eagerness to be a part of it, and really nothing was going to stop him and hold him back from doing what he wanted to do. I mean, even when I don't even know what that thing is called, that like thing, I was gonna say like the when he was in the thing when he was becoming hot, that thing. You know that thing?
The chamber?
The chamber, yes. And he was like, oh, I'm gonna go through this, like I want this, like that's how bad I want this. I just like the way that they did that, like.
Yeah. Also too, I mean, I guess you can look at it like this. He's like one of the only Avengers that like stuff wasn't really given to him, I guess you could say. Like, or he wasn't born into anything, or like was given the opportunities early on to do whatever, or like it was in his lineage. Like if that doctor never found him, he probably would never been Captain America.
Yeah.
He actually had to like show his character and what he was about in order to become Captain America. So he had more to prove. I think that also that probably plays a lot in the other movies too.
Yeah, like I think I feel like he always has this sense of like he has to prove something.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting to see though how like even after, because right after he got out of that chamber and all of this action started happening, he just like didn't know what the hell he was doing.
No.
And it's really I really like obviously they have spanned movies to grow a character, but I really like I think that's good to show. Because I was screaming at the TV. I was like, go, hello. Like, this is your moment. This is literally all you've ever wanted.
Yeah.
The doctor got shot and he died. And he's like, just staring at him. I'm like, go. This is exactly what you wanted. Why are you just staring at this guy? Like, go, dude.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I literally wrote this down. He was terrible when he was chasing that one guy, that one Nazi dude.
Yeah.
And he just like the Nazi dude took the kid and he was like trying to hide behind like the doorways, and he just like was like halfway out and stuff. And I was like, what are you doing, Steve? Come on. It was like crazy.
He's new at this. Yeah, give him
yeah, I mean, like he's really new, but I was just like, dude, what are you doing?
Common sense, bud.
No, but like I think it's good to show, but it's like crazy to see.
Yeah.
I will say I did not enjoy the stuff with him and Peggy.
You didn't? Oh.
No. I think similar to how we talked about it in Man of Steel in the DC episode. It felt so rushed. And even like their stuff was just like, you guys, like, this is like, I feel like there's no substance between either of them in the movie. I'm sure in the comics it's different, but in the movie, everyone calm down.
Yeah, I mean, I like this. I feel like for this one, they didn't rush it as much. I think.
Not your opinion.
Yeah. I think like, they didn't rush it as much, but some of the stuff did come out of nowhere.
But I feel like to that point of like they didn't rush it. Well, it's like they had nothing to rush. They had like nothing. They had like all these things of like not talking to each other, just staring at each other, and then just like jealousy. Like that was it. No, did I miss something?
You might have. I think Peggy's is a good character.
No, I like her.
Yeah.
No, I like her. Like I like her, but it just like okay. Did they kiss in that? They kissed in this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they did. I was like, I don't remember watching, but I know they did. But I just like it's hard for me too because also too like going into later movies, like we talked about, it's like this is kind of what he's basing a lot of his decisions off of. Like all of them is like this girl, this woman who's great and she's gorgeous, but it's just like there's
I think
I feel like something was missing with the two of them in this movie to kind of like make everything coherent, if that makes sense.
yeah, that makes sense. And also too, like there was a lot of time span that wasn't shown too, that they might have been able to show more clips of them for people to like make a connection, like, oh, but they didn't like I didn't have a feeling that they like fell in love. I think he just had a feeling that he found the girl that he wanted to be with. Like some people date and they know like right away, like, oh, like this is the person I want to be with, but they don't say like they're in love yet or whatever. That was kind of this, and that's how Steve is for the rest of the movies. Like, this is the girl I want to be with and everything. So I didn't get the feeling that they fell in love, but
I didn't either. I just had the feeling maybe that they had like petty crushes on each other.
I wouldn't say I don't know,
petty, but like
not
they had
petty. They had like strong feelings for each other, but they didn't really like.
I'm gonna say more like they had little crushes on each other. It's like they had work crushes on each other.
I know it's not work crush.
Yeah, no, yes, no, Kim. That was their relationship in this movie and just in general was the one thing that I was paying attention to because it obviously, like I said, is a very prominent thing throughout Steve and his storyline throughout all of the movies that he's in. So I'm like, let's go back to the first one where they're together. I missed something. I feel like there's nothing there in the movies. Probably in the comics, it's all there because they have time to write it. But in this movie, no one yell at me. I do. Well,
okay, Kim.
Is it like the thing like we said again in Man of Steel where it's just like I guess like when you're a superhero and in this case when you're in the army Dylan, you can attest to this being in the military, like everything is heightened. Is that why everybody gets married after 5 months?
No, but they it wasn't heightened. They kissed, but then they were gonna go on a date and everything. I think it's one of those, at least for Steve, because they don't really show for Peggy. Because when she whatchamacallit, in Winter Soldier, which I haven't watched, but I know the one scene in Winter Soldier, he finds out she's alive and goes to see her. So like I think it's one of those things that like they were gonna actually have a life together and they weren't gonna rush it, but like I think that it was strong feelings, but like at least for Steve on his end, because they don't show Peggy how she felt. At least for Steve on his end, he knew like that was the girl. Because like they show little scenes of him like with the picture of her and his watch on missions and stuff like that. So I think it was one of those.
And their last conversation on the plane.
So I think it was one of those things that he had strong feelings for her and he knew that he wanted to be with her. But they didn't rush the love story.
No, but I also think they were missing something. Like, I feel like they could have maybe had a little bit more with it.
Well, yeah, they could. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
they did show some stuff to like solidify it.
Yeah, because from a normal viewer, it just felt like it felt to me like they just had like these little crushes on each other, and then they would just get jealous of more so from Peggy. Like just get like it to me, like Steve was in love with her clearly, and he is, and then from her it's just like she had a crush on him and she just got jealous throughout the movie. And then like to me, because like there really wasn't like what's the word, like more oomph in their relationship for me, that like the last conversation of them about going to the dance was like really weird to me.
Yeah,
it was just like You know, like I just felt like there had to be something a little bit more. Again, because she's a prominent character figure in his life and in his stories. That was just my opinion. I was just kind of disappointed with like how it was in that movie, their relationship. Why are you making a face?
I burped. That's why. And
That's
yawned.
my opinion.
I burped and then yawned. Okay, I wasn't making a face at you. Calm down. Calm down. I will say that
was the one thing that was in my notes. I was like,
The one thing I definitely wrote down is I forgot how big of a influence Bucky had in this movie.
Yeah,
like how prominent he was. Too.
Yeah, Bucky was like okay, listen. I know I went on a huge Bucky rant, but I like Bucky now.
You like Bucky now. Okay.
I like Bucky now because I do not like Steve. Overall in general.
Are you talking about the characters or the actors?
The characters.
Okay.
No, Chris Evans is great. Everyone TikTok don't yell at me.
Again.
No, I'm not going on the spiel again. But no, yeah, I agree. I wrote that down too, because obviously, again, similar to Peggy, Bucky is a very important character to Steve and his arc of his story. But yeah, Bucky was the boss.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning with little Steve, you know.
I know, little Steve. So I wrote that down. But overall, I think the characters were good.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot somebody was in this movie and I don't remember who it was.
Character-wise or actor-wise?
Actor-wise, and I don't remember. The guy who played like the general or whatever.
He's
gonna yell at me. Hold on.
The guy from Men in Black.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love him. Love him so much. I forgot his name.
I got it. Hold on.
Well, I didn't know Stanley Tucci was in this.
Tommy
I did not know
Lee
Dominic Cooper was in this, and I did not know that Tommy Lee Jones was in this. Yeah. Those are three people that I love. Dominic Cooper, who played Howard Stark, was in Mamma Mia.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dude, what the hell? I was like, you're from Mamma Mia. Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones. I forgot that he was in this movie. Anyways, what else? The plot. So we kind of talked about the plot a little bit already. Yeah. I actually liked his story, and even though to you it was kind of cheesy, I actually liked it.
Yeah, I mean the story's good. It's funny. I wrote down this note because I didn't realize how this idea of World War II being the time for hero serum, you can actually see it in multiple comics, not for Marvel, but other like comic book companies. They create a storyline based around or have a part of their universe being like World War II hero serum. Like, yeah, I didn't know that was actually like a big common topic across multiple different comic book companies. For example, you probably don't watch this, but The Boys on Amazon, all the superheroes are made from hero serum that was created in World War II. So like that, and they were first a comic book. So that's an example of, oh, this is actually a common theme that people have wrote about.
Right.
But yeah, I mean the plot was good. I think it's good that they didn't rush him too quick to save the day necessarily. Yeah. And like what was it at the end when he infiltrated Red Skull. I was about to say Red Hood, sorry. Red Skull. Red Skull's lab, I guess you could say, base, whatever it was.
His laboratory.
Yeah, his laboratory. It didn't even give a feel like he won, but you also got a feeling that like he didn't win. You know, so it's kind of like neutral, which I think is good because there's some movies they either make the characters win too quick or like certain parts of the story, which I'll get to in Civil War,
I like
will come quick.
Yeah,
and you're like, what? They they already won, or like they already figured this out, or like that was fast. Like, so I also think since the plot was pretty good and the storyline, the movie felt fast. Like you didn't feel like it was dragging along, which I'll get to Civil War and talk about it then too. But it felt fast, like good pace. Like 2 hours went by, which I enjoy because I don't like movies when I'm sitting down and they feel long. Like last night, for example, not Marvel related, but we watched Prisoner of Azkaban. That felt long.
And that's like the shortest of the Harry Potter movies.
I know. And that felt, I think so, but that felt long.
That's my favorite Harry Potter movie, though.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Remember we were talking about the last one, like how good actors like meant to play a character. I feel like everybody in this movie was like pretty well fitted.
I think so. Chris Evans got the redemption from what was his Fantastic Four character?
How dare you? Actually, Johnny's my favorite.
All right.
What are you talking about? That's false. I actually like those movies. But I forgot. I didn't know that Chris Evans played him until
no one did.
Till after. And I was like, that's till like literally probably like a month ago. I was like, because of my opinions about like Steve Rogers and stuff, and like Chris Evans. I have opinions, everyone calm down. TikTok, don't yell at me. But it's like, it's funny because I'm like, I literally had a Fantastic Four poster in my bedroom as a child. And I loved those movies.
Yeah.
And that was very strange for me. Nothing makes sense.
Your world is a lie.
I have a question. So I'm probably going to cut this out because that looks stupid. But like, does he age?
I think he does age. It's just since he was frozen.
I mean, no, obviously, no, I know he was frozen.
Like, yeah. I think he ages for sure.
Okay.
It could be slower than normal because he did live till like 2023.
And like he does age when he does the thingy in the last movie, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm curious because like there was one serum of the serum, like there was one vial of the serum left. Why leave one vial? Was that like the anti-aging vial? It
was like the, oh god, I don't know, like the anti-acne one or whatever.
Yeah, it was like, what would have happened if he had
fast metabolism? He can't drink.
Yeah,
one swig and he'll be drunk.
Schwasty.
Bonus points.
I think I have 2, but I can't read my own handwriting for one of them. I have
a bonus point for the foot cover shoes.
Okay, go.
That's my bonus point.
Oh, that's your bonus point. Okay, so the bonus point, at least I can read right now, is that on his paperwork for when he's accepted into the potential superhero Captain America program, whatever it's called, his number is 1A. So first Avenger.
I did not see that because I was watching it on my iPad, and my iPad was propped up on my dresser, so I saw like no specific stuff.
Yeah, so that's my one bonus point, and then I can't read my other one. All right, are we gonna read off the scores? Okay, so
it says he ages slower than a regular human.
Yeah.
This hero serum. Yes. Okay, so characters. By the way, we're ranking them category 1 out of 5.
No, I know. So
no, I'm telling the people.
Oh, I realized that as soon as I said it. Okay.
Hold on, Danielle. You're funny. The characters as a whole.
I gave it a 3.
I agree with that. I will also give it a 3. By the way, I'm picking them right now as I talk about them.
The action, I'm gonna give it.
No, the plot.
Oh, sorry. The plot, I give it a 3.
Yeah, I agree.
I
liked his stuff. I did not like his stuff with Peggy. I'm sorry. Nobody kill me.
Action 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had 2 bonus points.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the action a 2.5 as well, and then I have 1 bonus point for that. All right, cool. First movie done. But overall, good.
Yeah, first movie always takes us long to talk about it, and the rest we get in a groove. So.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's the next movie in the order? Iron Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for Iron Man 2, Tony, I like how they, for this movie, incorporate, it's not just a hero story. They have other elements kind of influence the hero that's not like hero based. So like it shows the dark side of politics and how that influenced Tony's decisions and stuff. And they also showed like him being sick and how that affect his decisions, the good and the bad. So it showed not just basic hero decision stuff. So like for Captain America, it was all like hero decision stuff. It showed other stuff that influenced Tony to make his decisions, which is important for his storyline.
Yeah, because a lot of his decisions are based on personal and political things, especially in the future. I wrote down, what did I write down? I wrote down that again, it's really funny to go back and watch these characters in the middle of their character arcs, because like Endgame Tony and like Iron Man 2 Tony are 2 different people.
Yeah, they're different. The Iron Man 2 Tony is definitely the start of eventually Avengers Endgame Tony.
Well, yeah, of course.
But it's
he's still got that zhuzh.
Yeah, he still got the zhuzh, and then there's less of it in Civil War.
Yeah, for sure. I wrote down, again, going back to DC, I liked how it kind of had similarities with like the concept in the beginning with Man of Steel of like, we can't trust you because we don't know what your intentions are, what you're capable of. And so I always thought that, again, that plot of, or the story of like being afraid of the unknown.
Yeah.
And obviously, like you said, there are like political things that he uncovered and stuff, which was hilarious. Like, I'm so, like, the fact that he could talk to like politicians like that is like the funniest thing to me ever. In that like beginning,
I mean, he has so much power in the political world too.
He really does. Like,
in the first movie, they showed how much, in terms of Stark Industries, had in the military and political might. So like one of your top contractors, Stark Industries, like he can talk to them as much as he wants. They still need what he gives.
Exactly.
And the thing is, he's the one that like shows it off more than the other people. Like he boasts about it, because he's Tony. But
so I really like that. I like that. I was a fan of it in DC, and this is a concept that's in a lot of other movies too, in the MC movies, but that's something that I really like. Because like, no, let me show you.
But also too, I think for Tony especially, they show him how human he is.
Well, and I think too with that, like they can obviously, I feel like they can play it either, like they can play off the fact that he has personified this egotistical guy, where they can kind of use that persona against him by doing that.
Yeah. Like he's a good character, I think, to write about.
He's a complicated character, emotionally speaking.
Yeah, like, for sure.
Somebody who cares so much but doesn't want to show it. Or has a roundabout way of showing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very human. I think that like, I mean, even compared to like Captain America, especially in Civil War, I think Steve has a more straightforward approach. Like he's very honest about his decisions and what he thinks. And then the way that Tony does it is very
guarded,
emotionally driven, but it's not as straightforward.
No, it's very guarded.
It's very guarded.
Yeah.
And again, like, even it's been said in Far From Home, like, I forgot what it was, but like Tony is all over the place.
Yeah.
He says that. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
So I yeah. So as far as like a character, Tony is just like I vibe with that. I love
He's
him.
one of the best well-written characters in the MCU for sure. Yeah.
Because I think, like, on one hand, you love the fact that, like, I guess in the first movie he's like this like egotistical maniac. Like, that guy is fucking awesome and you want to be like that. But then, like, you're like, nah, he really is.
He's bad.
He's not bad, but like, nah, he's a human too.
Mm-hmm.
And he has these issues that nobody wants to see. A lot of people can relate to
that. I love Pepper though.
I was just gonna talk about her. I love Pepper too. I love their relationship span over the movies too.
Yeah. And I was reading about this today, I think, in terms of going between MCU and comics. I actually think, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, but Iron Man in the comics, his one true love has always been Pepper too. So it's cool that like in the MCU they showed that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could have done something with Black Widow or whatever, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So which is cool.
I like Pepper a lot too. She's a very good, like, I obviously with somebody like Tony, you need somebody who like is an equal.
Yeah.
And although she works for him, and then she be like in this movie, are they together yet in this movie?
I think so.
Yeah. No, yes, because she wants to quit and he's like, no.
Yeah.
Not quitting. But I think she's like, obviously with somebody like Tony and like who he is, he needs a backbone.
Yeah, he needs a backbone. He needs someone to balance him out, and you need someone to be straight with him.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the movie, or no, this is not for this movie, but no.
There's so many movies.
I know. I'm like
in a lot of the movies.
Yeah. I'm like, for this movie. Wait, no, not this movie. But yeah, he's in a lot. Does he? I don't remember.
Ask me.
Does he just do anything to his suits at the end of the movie? I forget.
I don't remember.
But he's the person straightforward. I know we can talk about for Civil War, but when we get to it, but how him being Iron Man influences his relationships too, more than any other characters as well.
Yeah.
So, but no, I like her a lot. She's definitely his balancing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. What's crazy to think too? So Happy, the actor who plays Happy, Jon Favreau, if it wasn't for him, there would be no MCU.
Yeah, because he directed the first one, right? And he directed
first and second. Yeah.
I like Happy. Happy's funny.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, the characters are pretty good in here. It's
always like, yeah. I feel like it's always like hard to like pick what movies to watch because these are just all like it could be any movie for this one.
Yeah.
Because it's so it's just so far advanced.
Yeah.
But, okay, so the plot.
I mean, the plot goes back to talk like it's intertwined with how they show his character and stuff. And I thought the plot was really good.
Yeah.
It was different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like different for a hero movie. Because it was almost like he was like his own worst enemy throughout the entire movie as well.
And I feel like that's also a common theme with him too.
Yeah.
He's his own, like he has everything at his hands, but also he's like, again, it just goes to him thinking too much. He can also be his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
I think. Because I think too with Tony, it's just like, especially in latter movies, he cares too much.
Yeah.
And even like we're not talking about Endgame, but in Endgame, he has to make a decision of whether or not to like really, really care or just like be kind of selfish and like
really care or like not do anything and just live his life.
Yeah, or be like selfish in that way.
Yeah.
In that regard. I think that's the thing with him. You can, and the thing is too, especially with his persona, his ego persona, you can, and like all the other stuff, because obviously the beginning movies is a lot more harder to like, he's going through the phase of becoming more open and vulnerable about his feelings. You can still tell, but through his actions and the way that he speaks, he cares too much.
Yeah.
Not too much, or that he cares in general.
Yeah.
I just love Tony so much. Robert Downey Jr. is such a babe. Action. I will say though,
it's okay.
The thing, like, again, as much as I love Tony, the thing with Iron Man is just like, you don't have those.
Done.
Yeah, like you don't have. I love the hand to hand, like Captain America.
And there wasn't a lot of action scenes in general in this.
No, I love the hand to hand combat action style.
Yeah.
And it's also too, it's like, it's not like Tony's, even when he's in the suit, you don't see RDJ unless he's like in those inside shots.
Yeah.
His face like this.
Yeah.
So that's like that's always the thing with like Iron Man. It's just like I think I like Tony more than I like Iron Man.
Yeah.
Which
is funny because in the movie they're like, we want Iron Man and not Tony at the end.
No. And everybody likes a little bit of a douchebag, right?
Yeah.
Come on. But that's the thing, like the actions are like just, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
And there wasn't a lot of action scenes to begin with.
Scary though.
Yeah.
Scares the shit out of me. That's like if you had somebody like that coming at you like that.
Yeah.
Like he's conducting a freaking band orchestra with like laser beams, I would cry. That's scary as hell.
I know.
That scared me. I was like, oh my God.
And how do you stop that, really?
I have no idea. You just like, well, listen, just go. It should be that simple.
Bonus points.
I give bonus points for Robert Downey Jr. being a living for being the perfect fit, a living incarnation of Iron Man in real life.
He literally is, though.
I give him 2 bonus points.
Oh, so I have 2 bonus points, but they're not for him. So the first one was that Elon Musk was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty funny. Now knowing being an adult, what an impact he's had on the scientific world.
Yeah, like how
and Tony like congratulated him. He's like, "Oh, good job on the space, whatever." And then the end credit scene was the precursor for Thor.
Okay, I didn't watch any of the end credit scenes.
You suck. Okay.
Because listen, I was just trying to get through these movies. Okay.
Yeah, the end credit scene was the precursor for Thor because that's when Thor's hammer hit Earth. And then, like in the movie Thor, you know how they set like the whole base around the hammer and stuff.
I know, but I didn't watch them just because I had all these to watch in like a day. So, but that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, let's give the scores. Characters
4.
I agree.
Plot 3.5.
I give the plot like a 2.75.
Okay.
Sticking with that.
Action was a 2.
Yeah.
And then our bonus points were 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need that hand-to-hand combat, like even with like guns, I'm like, whatever.
All right.
To, like punch somebody. We need to make contact.
All right, so the next movie is actually we can pick either or because they technically go on at the same time.
Right.
So whichever one you want to knock out first. I will say on my end, one's easier to go through than the other because one was kind of more straightforward. But
same, but it also depends on which movie you're talking about.
Yeah.
You want to do Thor?
Sure, we'll do Thor.
I feel like similar to how I said, again, going back to our DC, how I said Birds of Prey can be like a standalone movie. I feel like this could be like a standalone movie for like a general person who's not into superhero movies at all.
Right, because there wasn't really any ties to any other characters besides Hulk. But
and
like
Hulk is also like a very well known.
yeah, he's very well because they were making Hulk movies forever. They've been making Hulk movies forever. So and they also explained like good detail why Hulk was there. So like you didn't need any background to know what like watch a movie before on why Hulk was whatever, where they explained it pretty well.
And I think this obviously is like a rebirth of like the Thor series because it's completely different revision.
It's completely different. Yeah.
I was gonna say too, I thought that the first Thor came out before Iron Man 2, but I guess not.
I don't think so.
Because no, I looked it up because it like the first 2 Iron Mans were out before
Captain
Thor.
America or Thor.
Yeah, and I was like, I thought Thor came out in 2010, but whatever. Oh, I just dropped my phone. Okay. So that's what I think. So this obviously is my favorite Thor movie because the other ones I could care less about.
The second Thor movie is supposedly the worst movie in the MCU by critics.
Can't wait to watch it.
So I mean, it'd be good to watch just to connect all the pieces, but
yeah.
But yeah, this could be standalone because it's like totally I mean, it's similar in terms of because it's comical, right? It's comical. Yeah. It's similar to like the Guardians of the Galaxy series because those are comical, right?
It has the same like coloring,
same vibe. But
I feel like Chris Hemsworth is a lot better in this Thor than like not better, but he seems a lot more comfortable.
He's more fluid, kind of. Yeah, he's not like rigid.
Comical, and I feel like it's a lot more easier to comfortable for him.
Yeah.
So characters. Oh my god. Hela. Kate Blanchett is fantastic.
I mean, she's plays characters like that.
She's so great.
Yeah.
I forgot about her and I forgot how great she is.
You don't even know it's really her until like you look it up too. You know, because they did her character's design so well.
Yeah, she's fucking dope. I really you know what I wrote down? I thought he lost his eye earlier in the movie than when he did.
Oh. Yeah, I mean
I thought he lost it when he cut his hair. But no, she
did it.
I don't know why. I thought when he cut his hair.
I think so. I was actually looking this up. So for all the theatrical trailer releases, they didn't show his eye gone. But in the movie, his eye was gone. So it might have been like people were thinking, oh, like if they saw the eye patch gone, they might have been thinking, oh, maybe he lost it before his confrontation with Hela or whatever. But maybe that's why.
No, I don't remember. I was like, I swear to God, that's when he lost it.
Yeah.
But so characters. I liked all the characters in this one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, all the characters were good. I love how Loki is still Loki, even when he's trying to do good. He's still Loki in his ways.
Tom Hiddleston's really hot. About that. No, I like Loki a lot too. My favorite thing. I also forgot Doctor Strange was in this movie too.
Yeah, me too.
And then I love that I've been falling for 30 minutes. That's my favorite thing. I say for 30 minutes. Can you imagine falling for 30 minutes?
That's so bad.
That's terrible.
I know.
But no,
Doctor
I like
Strange is a man of his own.
Yeah, he really is. I forgot he's in this movie.
Yeah.
But then like everything came back when I was watching it. But no, yeah, I like Loki too. He's still kind of the mischievous one, even when like in times of like seriousness.
Yeah. And he did do some good, but he's still Loki in the background. Like he's like,
Yeah, of
I
course.
brought you to the ship, but I'm gonna turn you in. Or I what was it? I come to save my people just so I can get the Tesseract, you know?
Yeah, right. It's like we both win.
Yeah, but not really.
I like how they kind of did the backstory mythology with Hela.
Yeah. Cause that's more that A plays more to Norse mythology, but also too they did a good job explaining who she was. Again, that's a common theme in this movie.
Yeah. And also too, like this is again, we're several movies in with these other characters that are already very well known.
Right.
Plus, if you have to make her their sibling,
yeah,
she has to be plus as important.
Plus, you have to explain someone that's literally going to disappear right at the end.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Allegedly.
So, yeah.
And the story of like Ragnarok in general.
Ragnarok's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's also actually true in Norse mythology that Ragnarok was supposed to happen.
Can you explain it?
A Ragnarok?
I thought you like knew.
No, I don't know the full story.
Scandinavian mythology, Ragnarok is a series of events and catastrophes that will ultimately lead to the end of the world. Ragnarok culminates in a final battle between the gods and the demons and giants, ending in death of the gods.
Right. So, but I know, like, it's like it was kind of inevitable, right? That it was bound to happen.
Yeah.
But I think Norse mythology is the only mythology that actually like killed its gods, at least I know of, that has a story where like they're dead. So then like they don't exist anymore, you know? Like I don't know, I haven't heard of like that I know of. People could of course comment down below and see if there's a common story for them too. But like, you know, how did their Greek gods die out? Or, you know, how did whatever? So it's kind of like they came and then they went. So
and it makes sense for Hela because she's the goddess of death.
Yep.
I also like too for Thor, like again, like even though he is kind of established, but he also is kind of being reinvented in this movie because I know Love and Thunder is gonna be like this movie.
Love and Thunder, because Taika Waititi is directing it again, but also too, they're doing the storyline, which is actually fairly newish, that Jane Foster becomes Thor, which is possible because Thor gets the Stormbreaker and the hammer's up for grabs.
Yeah.
Like, and he doesn't really need the hammer.
I was gonna say how he kind of also like finds his power.
Yeah, his
like,
true power.
Himself, you know, his true power like within himself, and he can like actually like control it, because when he has that scene with Odin and he's like, I don't have my hammer, I can't do this, and his dad's like, no, that was just for you to
figure it out,
to figure it out. And
yeah,
you know,
which
you have it,
which a lot of time for superhero movies, they tell them to control their power, you know, like for example, like all related to Titans, right? When Dick goes to Rachel, like, you need to learn to control your powers. Well, here in Thor, his dad's like, that hammer was holding you back. It's just to show you like what you're capable of.
I think what it shows him the hammer to have it is like to understand, like to why can I not think? I had a thought and then it fucking vanished. And the hammer was kind of like, because like you said with that example, it was like you have to control it after you like fuck everything up, right?
Yeah.
I think like this is kind of good for Thor, for him to like not mess everything up.
Yeah.
For him to be like punished in a way by having a hammer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like it that way, because it's like, no. Like, like you figure out how to do it before like you have to go through these like crazy shitty things to do. I don't know. I just like that.
Action.
I also forgot Idris Elba was in this movie too.
Yeah. Yep.
People are in these movies. I cannot.
Yeah.
The action, great.
The action was definitely better than Iron Man and Iron Man and Captain America.
Yeah,
but it's not the best out of all of the movies, I don't think.
I like the stuff with Hulk and Valkyrie. That was really funny. And then when Bruce like reveals himself and she's like, oh wow.
Oh, that's how I know you.
I kind of wish that like I remember watching it in the first time I watched this movie. I kind of wish that like when Bruce jumped to become the Hulk and stop the giant wolf, that he like actually was the Hulk in the first place instead of like flopping. Like because Bruce should be dead.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. You know, like obviously it was cool after, but I was like, damn.
Yeah. You missed an action coolness point.
I thought like they should have given him that.
Yeah.
Because Bruce is always down on himself that he's not like this cool, like, you know, action guy. And like he's not, Hulk is, but he's also like a very smart.
Yeah.
Bonus points?
I had 2, but now I have 3. So first one is the Infinity Gauntlet Easter egg. When Loki's like, nope, throws it off the thing. So that's one. The second one was, where's it at? Where the heck did my second bonus point go? So we're putting jokes. I'm gonna get in the extra bonus point for just being comical. I don't really remember what it was, but the last bonus point, which I just found out recently, was Matt Damon did a cameo in the movie.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Really?
No, yeah, no. He played Loki in the play.
Yeah. And the guy who plays Thor is Chris Hemsworth's brother. Who's also an actor.
Oh, really? I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, so I have 3 bonus points.
Okay.
The first one being, I forgot what it was. Why is this so bad? The first one, okay, so one of them is during the Hulk and Thor fight scene where Hulk like does throws Thor back and forth, and then like he finally knows what it feels like and he's all excited. And then I was like, yeah, those are the only 2 that have been smashed like that in the Avengers by Hulk and their siblings, which I thought was funny. And then my other one is for my other one is for Grandmaster because it's Jeff Goldblum's really funny.
Yeah, Kevin's like, I love this movie just for him.
Yeah. And then my other one is for Korg. I loved him. I loved him when he was like, hey man, we're gonna get out of here. I literally cannot. He's like, I'm Korg. And it's just Elba's like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So those are my bonus points.
Korg will be back in Love and Thunder.
I know.
So Taika Waititi will be back as Korg.
Yeah, I like that part.
Yeah, Korg's funny.
What was the other guy's name?
The which guy?
The one with Korg.
There's 2 of them with Korg, right?
Oh, Danielle, you're gonna make me work.
Korg.
Meek?
Yeah, there we go. He's like, ask Meek. Oh, Meek's dead. I've just been holding his body because I kind of stepped on him and I feel bad. And then he wakes up. He's like, oh, he's back.
Yeah. Those are my bonus points.
Okay. All right. So plot.
Characters.
Oh, characters.
I give characters like a 4.
I give him a 3.
Oof. Why?
Just because, like, yes, like this movie was a good standalone movie, but like nothing in terms of characters besides for Thor was really developed.
What about Valkyrie?
Well, yeah, okay, for new characters, but like a 3.5. Okay, there we go.
Plot
2.5.
What?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It was just too, I wouldn't say boring, but too, I don't know. I give it a 2.5.
I was gonna give it like a 3.
They give it a 3.
I don't get you.
Action,
A 4.
a 3.
A 4 for Thor. And then I have 3 extra bonus points.
Yeah, and then I have the 3 bonus points.
Wow,
also.
I can't believe you rated it so low. I liked it a lot.
I mean, it's good, a comical movie, but like, I was like, oh my goodness, my camera. Huh?
I changed my mind. I'm giving the plot a 3.5 because I like the stuff with Thor and his own like personal thing. That's just my opinion. Okay.
2 more.
I would like to say that the next one we're going to talk about, I have a lot of notes.
Oh boy.
For probably any of the movies we've talked about.
Oh boy. How about you start off?
I don't know, because you need to navigate it, because I just am so full of emotions. I rewatch this movie. For me is like Me Before You. It makes me feel like Me Before You.
That's not good.
No, it's not. It gives Me Before You vibes for myself so much. And I was watching the movie and I was screaming.
Oh boy.
So you can start off. Please navigate this conversation because I'm very passionate.
Hold on.
What are you doing?
My camera fell back. Okay. So characters. What did I say about characters? Tony is very guarded in this.
I mainly talked about Tony and Steve.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're the 2 main.
Probably Tony, Steve, and Wanda are like the 3 to really talk about for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Bucky, I guess, whatever, but not really. Who cares?
Yeah. But Tony was very guarded in this movie and wasn't upfront about his decisions, so the whole thing about the Avengers should be controlled. The Sokovian Accords. Yeah, I kind of get it, because like they're doing it so they don't risk killing innocent lives, right? And they kind of have like I wouldn't say an agenda, but they kind of have rules set in place on what they can and can't do.
Yeah, like it's the whole idea for
it's like a treaty kind of.
It's like the idea is like this isn't going to be this private organization where you guys kind of just make decisions on your own. It's going to be decided through the UN, through all of the countries in the world, of whether or not when you are needed.
Yeah, which I get just from being in the military. Like I get that, but also too, it could be abused potentially. So there's that. And who can really judge what's good and what's bad? Like it and there's no way to really tell. So that's
so we're on like different ends of the spectrum for this then.
No, I'm talking about both sides on how it's good and how it's bad. I don't really have a side I would choose.
Well, what would you choose? Would you sign or would you not sign?
I probably wouldn't sign.
Oh. See, I would sign. Because if like for me, watching the entire movie, well, not the entire movie, more specifically the airport scene, I was like, this is why this Accords is here, because y'all can't make decisions, so you have to fight each other and then ruin a whole goddamn airport about it. This is why this is being made in the first place. That's what I thought this entire time.
I get that, but also too, like I said, I don't want someone to decide for me what's good and bad when if something's obviously bad, but they say we can't help, then it's kind of like you can't do anything. Well,
it goes to the level of like, well, what is appropriate for each member of the team. Because like they said, there's like you have people like Tony, who is just a normal guy, or Spider-Man, or even Steve, he's normal, or like Natasha and Clint, who are just, for those two, they're just like really good agents who are more on like a certain level. And then you have like these gods with mythical powers. It's like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like there's basis to like who can handle what and who can do what. Like, you know, I think that I am more on the side of like you should sign, because I don't know. I just couldn't. It's kind of like, especially when it's, you don't, and I said I like this movie because it like it it shows the consequences to your actions, right? Here are the consequences to your actions. And they even show it when they're talking to the Secretary of State. Like, yes, you've saved all of these things, but look at the damage that is done. And no, and you guys only care about whether or not you get to work or not in that scene. You know what I mean? And I think that's a good point. It's like, yes, you're saving all these lives, but then there's still a cost.
I think there'd be a cost either way if they
of
sign or
course,
don't
like
sign.
there's a cost either way, but it comes to a point of like, if you don't see that like this is like, I feel like their battle is, obviously their focus is on one thing. A lot of the time they're not, and that's the whole thing. They're not going to think about the repercussions of these actions, right? Because they're so focused on saving the day. But it's like, who are the people that actually have to like clean up after this and like try to regroup all of this stuff? They're not going to go on to the next thing. So it's like, if we can stop, like, not stop, but maybe if we can not shorten, but maybe like avoid certain things from being done like that. You know what I mean? Casualties.
Yeah.
Because I think they make up a good point. It's like, also too, like, and he was even like, okay, well, where's Thor and where's Hulk? You guys have no idea where anybody is. There's no like, they're like, yeah, I'm a call away, but it's like, you guys are all like on your own agendas too.
Yeah, but I don't think they need to necessarily have in writing. I think they just need to figure out what to do amongst themselves and not have to sign something to do that.
But then maybe they need something in writing because they obviously don't know what they're doing amongst themselves.
I don't know. I have faith in people.
Well, I have faith in people too, but you also want to like be logical about things.
Yeah.
You can't be, well, it go like, yeah, you can do what's right, but also you have to be logical about things. I feel like in a lot of ways in this movie, Steve is like, what's the word? Well, it's hard because I think Tony is basing it off more on emotion, but he's trying to take the logistical route about it.
And he's not winning.
And he's not winning. And then Tony or Steve, did I say Steve or did I say, oh my God, I'm so confused. Okay, hold on. I think that Tony's trying to take the logistical route about it, but it's being pushed by his emotions and his own guilt, correct?
Yeah.
And then Steve is trying to take the more, or is taking the more emotional response, like you said, of like, well, I have trust in people,
Yeah.
But he would imagine that he would be the more like logistical. That's another thing. I'm like, I feel like he would be the more logistical one.
Steve?
Yeah. Am I wrong?
I feel like from initial standpoints, probably, but the way that they developed over time, they went opposite.
Okay, that's fair. But I just think that I just would be like, yeah, because it like here's if listen, whether and that's a whole other thing. But also too, it's like, well, you don't know if people are gonna if the government's gonna flake on you until they actually do.
Right.
That's kind of the price you're gonna pay if you write it.
Right.
But I also don't think that if the government's like, no, hypothetically, if every episode of like everyone signs it and see what happens, I don't think the Avengers are going to be like, oh shucks, you know what I mean? They're gonna fucking go anyways.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Which I think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think that if this is a way, because like here's the thing, and this is the whole point of the movie. It's like, for me, anyways, it's like, well, now I can kind of see why they want this, because when y'all don't y'all can't just sit around a goddamn table and discuss it amongst yourselves. Y'all have to fight each other. And like, this is maybe why that this is a thing, because you're leading to violence and fighting. You know what I mean, though? But like, I know it's funny. Like, I know you're laughing, but like, that's literally what I thought. I was like, well, this is the whole fucking point, that this thing's in the thing. No, y'all, we can't sit down and just have a conversation. If they can't even sit down and be on somewhat of an understanding of each other, then how can they save the world?
Well, but I think that goes more than just saving the world, just an understanding of each other in general. Because like, if they sat down and talked to each other, then like Tony would have never gone after Steve. They would have understood why Steve had to leave to go to Serbia.
And I think that I think like any conversations that was like understanding-ish was like people who agreed with each other.
Yeah.
If that made sense.
No, that makes sense.
So it was hard for me because like, as somebody who like was like, no, yeah, like here are the like, let's be real about this for 5 seconds, and like, let's take off our superhero cap and let's take off like our real person cap for another second and be like, listen, like, this is crazy, especially when you see it. And I think Wanda was somebody who, like, obviously she's a big component of the movie and why this thing's a thing. But I think she obviously thinks about it a little bit and then she makes her decision. But it's like, it at least can think about it.
Yeah.
I think it's like an important topic for a movie, and a very interesting topic for a superhero movie, because nobody, like, it's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
They save the day and then everything's fine.
No, I think also too, though, the Sokovian accords right off the bat need to be fixed, because the reason why I wouldn't sign is nations in power are abusing the power of having the Avengers at their fingertips. So like, for example, them setting off to do bad when in actuality it's not bad. Like, what is it? It's like, for example, like why Tony originally was going after Steve in the first place, like why he wouldn't let Steve go. Like, he thought it was bad, right? Why Steve was resisting, but it turns out Steve was potentially trying to stop a threat that could destroy the world of super soldiers, right? So that's an example of what countries could do. So that's why I wouldn't sign, is people abusing power, which is known for people to do. So
right,
but if they adjust it, that'd be different, you know.
But I think maybe for me, the conversation has to be within the group. It's like, there's no communication. There's no trust. Nobody knows what anybody's doing.
No, there is that. No one knows what they're doing.
That's the thing. And I think that's what can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why, like, in some regards, I'd be more to, like, not signing, but like being like, okay, maybe we shouldn't just go out on our own whim and like, you know.
Yeah.
That is true though, but I don't know. I just like, maybe for me, they just didn't sell Steve's point enough for me.
No,
I never, maybe because he was so stubborn in this fucking
movie. He was stubborn in this movie
that I couldn't get past it.
And Tony tried to like tell him, okay, this is the reason why I'm signing it, and he still like threw it back in his face.
He showed Charlie Spencer, he's like, this is, and obviously that's his own guilt, but like here are all like, and plus when they were going through like the videos of all of the places they've been to, like here are all the reasons like for my argument.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the other argument wasn't as strong.
No,
not saying it's not as good, like it's
yeah,
a good argument, it's the opposing argument, but like the things, the facts or the evidence, the exhibit A, B's and C's behind them kind of weren't really there. It just Tony or Steve was like, I don't trust the government. And it's like, okay. And like, yeah, but and then too with the whole Winter Soldier thing, but like nobody else knew. That wasn't a giant common thing amongst all of them.
No,
like at least with New York and with Sokovia, like some of them were there. They knew what happened.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, for me, that's why I was like, why wouldn't anybody do this? Maybe because I'm a logical person and I like the facts. And if all the facts are presented to me, I'm like, well, then that makes sense. Like I like opinions, but then I like facts to back it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. I don't know. But oh yeah, Steve really pissed me off. What did I write? Let's see. I wrote Bucky is Steve's kryptonite.
Yeah.
He even says it himself, which is why maybe that you shouldn't do things in your own hands. And then I wrote Peggy. Oh, and that's the thing too. Well, anyways, I'll get to that. I wrote Steve is a real piece of work. And I wrote the entire scene with Bucky after T'Challa dad's dad dies is Steve taking matters into his own hands is the exact reason why the Sokovian Accords exist. Oh, and then what else did I write? I wrote Steve is ungrateful and how dangerous Steve's team is because they were like flying cars and shit. And I'm like, they're literally like trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
Like that's terrible. Oh, and I wrote down this question because it was I wrote down, you know, when like Steve almost signed.
Yeah.
And they were talking about Wanda and stuff. And I was like, Steve is because he doesn't really have any real attachment to anything that's here.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tony has Pepper, you know, and Tony even said like I'm not gonna let anything happen to you thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's why I was like, maybe Steve just isn't attached to anything here for him to be like, no, this needs to be protected.
Yeah.
And sure, Bucky is one thing, but like not like in a sentimental, like I don't think Bucky's enough of a thing for him to be like, nah.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, he wants to do good. It's just there's not enough not enough motive for him just to do good, but also sign. Like he wants to do good. But like if, for example, he had those attachments you were talking about, then maybe he would have signed.
Yeah, like it's like everybody, but here's the thing, everybody thinks they're doing good by the decision that they're making.
Right. Like I don't necessarily think keeping Wanda locked up as like a kind of like a not a prisoner because she was able to roam, but like the way that she was the best decision.
Right?
Yeah. Was the best decision.
Yeah, but it's also like it's the best thing that he could have done. It's better than her being in a jail cell, in a prison cell, which is where everybody ends up at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But I just like, Steve is just a fucking piece of work, right, Kevin?
Thanks, love.
I really do not like him. He made me angry. Like, am I right to say that he made me angry at this entire thing? And then I wrote, why is everyone mad at Tony? Because it's funny because it's this whole thing of like Tony is this, like we said, egotistical maniac, and Steve is like this good, straightforward, I want to do the right thing guy. But I'm like, I don't know, why is everyone mad at Tony?
I feel like people are mad at Tony because like he wasn't
at all.
I think he wasn't providing the reasoning. Like he was just like shooting stuff out there. Like saying he was just saying his side, but he wasn't explaining it. So it might have came off kind of wrong.
But even like when Natasha let Steve and Bucky go, which ultimately left to Rhodey being paralyzed, and they're at the hospital, and Tony's talking to her, and she's like, "Well, cool your ego." And I was like, "What are you fucking talking about? You fucking did this, bitch. Like, you did it. It's your fault." Like Tony, and I don't think Tony said anything. He was like, "Well, you let him go, and this is what happens. These are the consequences to these actions." You know what I mean? I don't know. It's the way you look at things, I guess. But I think like and that was the one thing too, especially with, should we talk about Tony's parents and Bucky and Steve? Because that was a big thing. I would love to. Because I think it's Steve is so fucking annoying. I cannot. I can't. Am I wrong for saying that? Especially with the shit with Bucky and Tony.
You want to know what I just thought? So I was thinking about this when we were talking, and this probably pretty much sums up what you're probably going to say.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't like think straight because I was screaming.
Okay. So I watched the clip from Endgame on how Tony calls out Steve. Like, you weren't there for whatever, and people died because of it, or whatever it was. I don't remember what he's referencing.
He was in space, and that's when everybody, like Peter, like disintegrated away and stuff.
Right, and Steve was on the ground fighting Thanos in Wakanda. Right, and I don't remember exactly what he's referencing, but it could be like how it just all played out, and Tony was telling Steve, like, you weren't there, like I needed you.
Yeah.
And you weren't there. Do you think that maybe Endgame would have ended like Infinity Wars would have ended differently if this stuff with Tony's parents did not come to light, and then their whole infrastructure potentially crumble?
Well, I watched that scene after this movie. But the whole thing was they haven't seen each other until that point, since I think Civil War.
Yeah.
So, and Tony even talks about it, the Accords, of like, we had a plan that we were going to, there was something that, and Tony even said in Civil War, he predicted Thanos coming. He was like, this is for something, for like a threat that, save a threat that might potentially happen later that we could actually go do, you know, or something like that. And his whole thing is like, I mean, after the shit with his parents, his whole entire image of Steve and trust in him vanished completely.
Yeah.
Because he knew that Bucky killed his parents.
And he didn't tell him.
And he, you know, it's funny because it was also the whole thing too that Steve was like, well, Bucky is my friend.
Yeah.
And Tony's like, well, I thought I was your friend too.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that made me, because I obviously, from watching the movie when it first came out, that's obviously, and it was in the trailer, like it's a big thing. And it's funny how much Steve's new friends, like Natasha going to Peggy's funeral because she didn't want him to be alone, and Sam helping him get Bucky and risking being arrested and stuff, have done for him, and how, in my eyes, that's like really ungrateful for Steve not to see that either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what these people are risking for you because they're your friends, but you don't see it that way. I would be so offended. I would.
Yeah.
But as far as that Endgame scene, it's like that was probably a built up of emotion that like Tony had for Steve.
Yeah.
And plus, like, I'm like all the shit with Peter, you know, stuff, and watching him and all of that guilt,
yeah,
and him not trusting him. He said, no trust, you're a liar.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and also too, Steve's like, well, maybe you should be rational about this, motherfucker. He just watched a video of your best friend killing his parents. You think he's going to sit down and be like, yes, let's be rational about this.
No.
In the moment,
Yeah.
I don't think so. And it
No.
it makes me sad because I'm like, yeah, Steve, like, look what these friends are doing for you, like, throughout the movie. And it's just like, you don't see that way. He seemed so tunnel vision to me in this film and stubborn.
He definitely is.
Irritating.
Yeah, he definitely is.
You know?
Yeah. I love one of my favorite things about Tony in this movie is when he told Steve that I hated you at some point. Like, I hated you. Yeah. My dad loved you more than he loved me. Yeah.
Yeah.
He loved you sometimes more than he loved me.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that was another thing in Iron Man 2, his scene with his dad.
Yeah.
You're my greatest creation. Well, motherfucker, maybe you should have told him that in person.
Yeah. Maybe you would have not felt this way. I feel like we hit characters and plot all at one.
But that's why I don't like Steve. I'm sorry. And I think, but it's funny because the opinions about Steve have changed drastically.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but everyone's on my side now, pretty much. Because also too, you go, whatever. I'm not getting into it. But yeah, that was the thing. I'm like, that was the one thing too. I'm like, you don't see what these friends are doing.
It was kind of like, so like how in Iron Man 2 we were saying Tony was his worst enemy. For this movie, Steve was his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So like, understand he was trying to
he thought
make Bucky's name clean, which of course it wasn't his fault for what they were talking about with the bombing and stuff, which I understand. Mm-hmm. But also too, he was so adamant on getting Bucky's name cleared that he couldn't focus on the main thing, like what the main thing was at hand. What?
Oh, I just came up. My mind just blew. So maybe Steve was so focused in tunnel vision on getting Bucky's name cleared, he didn't think about the repercussions that his friends were costing for him. Similar to how this whole Accords thing was happening about the repercussions of their actions. Oh!
Mic drop.
Boom, mic drop. It's true, though. That was the one thing I'm like, but like there's also I get it. Like obviously, like Bucky is kind of one of the only things for Steve to hold on to, like his past.
Yeah,
that's his best friend, and obviously, like that's the guy who like whatever grew up with him and stood up for him when he was little and stuff. But I don't know. I just would imagine that he would just be more like level-headed and logical.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, I think we kind of covered everything. I did not like the action scenes.
No.
Because they made me sad.
I mean, the action scenes were good.
They were great. Like, they were really good, but I just, like, I like cringed watching them because I'm like, I don't want to see any of you fight each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No. They were good. It was hard.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah. I like the stuff with Falcon, Bucky, and Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was cool.
I like that stuff. I'm not gonna go any more Steve slander. But I'm glad this movie like reinsures my thought process years later is about him. Oh, whatever, that's not important. I wrote Steve's letter, but like who cares?
Yeah.
I'm a call away. It's like, shut the fuck up. Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. And then all your friends end up in jail. It's like, what do you and you're like, oh, I'm gonna come in and save the day. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, shut up, Steve. If I saw this motherfucker and I was in that jail cell, I would not be smiling. Like, you bitch asshole. No? Am I wrong? I don't know.
All right.
Whatever.
Bonus points.
My bonus points is for the introduction of Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good. My bonus point was for how they tied the one thing. So in this movie, they introduced Barf, that one simulation.
Yeah.
And that's the bonus point signing into our last movie.
Yep.
On how Mysterio Mysterio. Yeah, Mysterio came to be.
Right. Barf.
Yeah.
Oh, Tony. This is gonna be hard for me because it has the me before you syndrome.
All right.
I don't think I can ever watch this movie again. Characters. Oh God. Oh. I don't know. What are you giving it?
A 3.
I'm gonna base my characters off of like basically like Tony and Steve, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna give it I think I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
Because no, I'm not gonna explain why. I'm not going on this tangent anymore.
Please no. All right. Plot.
I think it's a good plot. I'm gonna give it a 5.
I'm giving it a 3.5.
Oh wow. Why?
I feel like they could have done it better. Like it was good, but they could have made it better.
I really don't know how they could have made it better. Well, I do. They could have just sat down and agreed, but no, that movie wouldn't be as entertaining. Oh, I was gonna give it like a 5. I thought it was good. I liked the plot. It made me. What did I say? A good movie is if it sparks emotion, and that's plot sparked emotion for me. I give it a 5.
All right. Action.
Oh, I like the action.
I give it a 3.
What? I liked it a lot. I was gonna give it a 4. Wow. 2 bonus points.
1 for me.
On our last movie.
Thank goodness.
Jesus Christ. Maybe we'll do like 3 movies next time.
Yeah, let's do 3 movies next time.
Yeah, this is a lot.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't help that superhero movies are just extra long than normal movies.
Yeah.
All right, last movie we have is Spider-Man Far From Home, which I enjoy very much.
I do too.
Let's talk about the characters.
I love Peter.
I do love Peter. He's so cute.
Literally, like, he's been a superhero for how long now, and he still acts like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, that was the whole point of this movie.
Yeah.
You got to figure out what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
I especially love Peter and MJ in this movie because I think they showcase a good, awkward high school
relationship.
Cute relationship really well. Unlike Peggy and Steve. Yeah, I like Peter a lot. Like, I think obviously like he has a lot going on with his internal plot.
Yeah.
You know, after Tony dies and like dealing with that and also like trying to be the next Iron Man, which I don't know why people would think Spider-Man would be the next Iron Man.
Well, probably he thinks. Well, I think no one knows that what he thinks that he should be the next Iron Man but Tony was molding him to be like this.
No, but like that was a whole thing of like I'm not gonna be. That was a whole thing of he even said like people want me to be the next Iron Man. It's like no. I don't know.
I feel like that is more internal for him. Like he thinks he thinks people want him to be next Iron Man.
No, but people asked him. People asked Spider-Man during the press, "Are you the next Iron Man?"
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Of like I mean, maybe because they're both like in the same vicinity. And
I don't think it's vicinity. I think it's just like in what
public figures
maybe, but also too like Peter is very smart and he builds exactly like Tony.
Yeah.
And like he very much leans on Tony for stuff. Like Spider-Man leans on Iron Man.
Yeah, but also but like the general public isn't gonna know all of the personal stuff.
No.
So I'm just curious to see like why the general public would make those
Yeah.
That's why I say like general vicinity, because they're both in New York, correct?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man is starting to become more of a public figure. Like
Yeah.
he's in press and stuff. So I was just curious because I'm like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Tom Holland's really great as Peter, and I think, and then Mysterio, which
Kevin told me, he's like, they did a good job of hiding him the first half of the movie. Like,
well, I was gonna
his
say, I
intentions.
saw this film in the theater when it came out, and I was shocked as well. I was
Yeah.
like,
You're like,
I liked how they also tied it in with Tony. And
yeah.
like tying it back to like old storylines and stuff with
Mhm.
Barf and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
And it is Robert Downey Jr. in another movie again after his character dies.
I'll probably be in the next Spider-Man.
Probably.
But
I was thinking about that, like, because the next Spider-Man's gonna open the whole multiverse thing. What if like Iron Man from a different universe comes?
oh my god, stop. I was thinking about that too. I'd cry. I forgot what I was gonna say. But I liked, here's the thing. Jake Gyllenhaal to me doesn't scream like the
Villain.
No. I was gonna say the quintessential superhero.
Oh,
Just because I liked him more as the
the
not when he's
villainous Mysterio.
Yeah, a lot. I think it just fits him a lot better.
Yeah.
Because Jake Gyllenhaal also annoys me, but that's another conversation.
All right, Kim.
But yeah, I liked the stuff with MJ. It was so cute when they were all, like awkward together. And I like the stuff with Aunt May where she's like, "Did you do the thing yet?"
Yeah.
And like her and Happy and stuff. I like the characters a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
I liked Nick Fury and Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I liked where when the drone comes at Nick and he's like, "You got me." And she shoots it up. She's like, "Yeah, I got you."
That's the actress from How I Met Your Mother, by the way.
I know.
Yeah, she's the only one from that series that actually is doing stuff.
Danielle, what are you talking about? That's not true at all. You just gotta. Why do you have to bash that show? I'm just bashing Friends.
I have no idea.
You're so rude. Just start bashing Friends.
But
yeah,
plot. I think it was pretty good, especially with the internal struggles that Peter was facing.
Mm-hmm.
They made him human, just like how Tony was.
Yeah.
So that was good, and plus it adds on to the fact that he's just a kid.
Yeah, that was the one thing I liked a lot too. Of like, he's like, I just want to be a kid, but it's a good question of like, well, if you're somebody who's a teenager or a young adult and you are gifted these abilities and you do these things, it's like, what would you do?
Yeah,
like you're growing up, like just the idea, like obviously this is a more enhanced way, but like the plot and the storyline of like having to grow up is something that everybody can relate to in some ways. Obviously not everyone's a superhero, but
yeah, and he has to grow up a little faster because there are superheroes that don't exist
he's
anymore.
Dealing with like some real shit.
Yeah, there's superheroes that don't exist anymore or not on the planet, and like he's one of the few left to actually protect the planet.
Yeah,
when
that's here, when like but that's the thing too, and they were in Happy was like, let him be a kid, dog. He'll call you.
Yeah.
So I like that too. I like the stuff with Mysterio. It was really cool. I didn't expect it.
No,
I didn't know that like Mysterio is one of Spider-Man villain. So
he's one of many.
One of many.
I think he's the most. I feel like
in superhero world or just in Marvel world. What about Batman?
Well, yeah, Batman too. but Spider-Man in Marvel world has a lot of villains.
Well, that's what we even, but I mean, that's a whole conversation we had of like Spider-Man is like one of the quintessential Marvel heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone fucking loves Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I liked how it was. Well, that should be a bonus point. I like how it was in Europe and like in Italy and stuff. I like the action a lot.
Yeah, the action was
I
pretty
usually
good.
like Spider-Man's action stuff
because he is far away, but it has to be. It turns into hands-on once he's done.
Yeah.
So, it does more for like being a far away type of action.
Well, he's doing a lot of physical activity.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always doing physical activity when he's Spider-Man.
Right.
I liked even stuff he was doing stuff like as Peter.
Yeah.
I loved like the first scene when they're in Venice and it's like that water element.
And
he had that mask on. It's like, dude, everybody knows it's gonna be you.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, MJ called him out.
Yeah. And I liked the scene when they were in the car and he was trying to kill Brad.
Yeah.
That was funny. But yeah. I don't know. I like the movie a lot. And it's good. And you know what I really like about all of the Spider-Man movies? Well, in this MCU is like they do really set up really well and they like follow a storyline really well.
They do.
This movie is going into the next movie.
Yeah.
Like
it's
probably
literally picking up right after. Like,
yeah.
Because in the trailer it shows him swinging with MJ getting caught by police.
Right. And that's how this movie ended. And even in Homecoming, like it was right after Civil War because Tony's in it.
Yeah.
So I like how they do a really good job of like
his storylines one right after the other.
His storylines out of a lot of the superheroes are like really good.
Yeah.
Bonus points.
What did I say for bonus?
We always start really long with the first movie and then really short with the last one.
Yeah. I don't remember what I did a bonus point for, but I'll just give it for the movie overall as a whole.
I give a bonus point for MJ and Peter. They're really cute. Oh, my bonus point is for Tom Holland and Zendaya because they're like actually together. I love them. They're so cute. And she's like taller than him, which is like so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so cute. I literally was watching.
I mean, it was bound for someone to fall in love on a Marvel movie because, like,
and
everyone in Hollywood.
Everyone thought like with the first movie they were gonna get together.
Yeah,
it only took like the third one. I was watching their scenes together. I'm like, you guys are so cute.
Well, he also like not talking about MCU, but in general, he always posts stuff about her and like hypes her up.
I know, they're so cute. I can't. That's my bonus point.
Okay. All right. So characters.
I give the characters like, a 5.
I give them a 4.
I give it a 5.
Plot is a 4. Plot was good.
I give it a 4 or 2 because I don't really like the next Iron Man stuff. I mean, I get it. Like, I'm happy that they showed, like, I think it's important they showed like Peter's grievance.
Yeah.
But I don't like how it was like made into the public because I don't know. I mean, I see the similarities, but I don't see it as a public thing because the public isn't supposed to know that like Peter is Spider-Man, so they wouldn't know a lot of their personal relationships, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
But I think, again, I do think Tony's death is an important thing to address specifically for Peter in the movie. Right after impact. Endgame, Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Action. I give the action a 4. 3?
Like a 3.5.
Oh, I didn't even talk about it, but I could put in my bonus points. Those nightmare scenes, those were really cool. I remember watching that in the movie theater and being fucking terrified. So I'll put that in my bonus points. But I like them a lot. They scared me, so they worked. But I think too, like the nightmare scenes obviously were like Peter's own nightmare, like that he's got like all of his thoughts that he's going through. That's which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
So they're cool. I'm gonna give 2 bonus points.
All right, now let's add this up.
Oh God, math. All right, so what we're gonna do is add up all the points from the categories and then divide them by each category, and then it'll give a number, and then we'll see what goes where. Okay, so number 5. What's your number 5? What's
Captain America.
My number 5 is I can't read this. My number 5 is also Captain America.
Okay. I feel like this is gonna be very similar.
Okay.
Our list.
What's your number 4?
Civil War.
My number 4 is Iron Man 2.
Okay.
Very close to Captain America in points.
My number 3 is Iron Man 2.
My number 3 is Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Thor Ragnarok.
Okay. So my number 2 and my number 1s are tied.
Okay.
War and Far From Home have the same score at 3.75.
My number 2 was Thor,
which has never been done before.
And my number 1 is Spider-Man.
What was your number 2?
Thor. Because of the bonus points. There's dank bonus points, man.
My number, I guess Civil War and Spider-Man are number 1. But if Opinion Kim wasn't doing the logistics, I would prefer Far From Home.
Yeah.
But they're tied. Which is cool because my other ones weren't tied. So yeah. I like these movies. I think overall, I like DC a little better. From the last ones we did.
Yeah.
But.
Well, hey, now we have, what is it? So on that Marvel spinny wheel, have you included new movies as well? Because a new movie just came out.
Black Widow and
Shang-Chi.
Not what was it?
Shang-Chi.
No, because when I made the wheel, it wasn't out yet.
Okay. I was just wondering if you're adding the new ones as we go.
Yeah, I did.
Still got.
Yeah, I did.
3 movies coming out the end of this year for Marvel.
Jeez.
We got Venom, the second Venom, Eternals.
But no, when I made the wheel, it was
Spider-Man. I feel like Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be the most watched movie ever.
Yeah, I mean the trailer broke the internet.
Yeah, I know.
The trailer. I think honestly because like everyone loves the fact that Peter and Spider-Man is within the MCU because he wasn't before, and all these characters. And also too, like Tom Holland's a really fucking great ass Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and he's so adorable.
And they're bringing the old Spider-Mans into the movie
and the characters,
yeah.
and just yeah.
I'm excited.
And I'm very excited. It's coming out the day before my birthday.
I saw that. I remember December 17th. All right, Kim, you want to close us out?
I had a good time doing this. Yes,
it's just too long, and I'm ready to not. I'm ready to not talk to you.
Let me do it. Let me do it.
Okay.
You keep interrupting me. I'm like trying twice to do it. You're not letting me do this. Well, I had a good time. You're paused. I had a good time doing these movie reviews. We're definitely going to do more, probably with like 3 movies instead of 5, because 5's a lot. And it'll be a lot shorter and easier for me to edit. But let us know your comments, concerns about our opinions on these movies. Please be nice to us. We have no idea what we're talking about. We're just dumb idiots. But if you liked it, be nice. Just check out some other stuff. It's a blast. Danielle, did you have a good time?
I had a good time watching it.
Can you just say yes?
Yes.
Danielle had a good time. I had a good time. Okay, everybody, follow us, watch some stuff, do something good, and be nice to people. Goodbye.
Bye.